Coming for you right now with what you said about Meg and Tori. Do you feel like people are misinterpreting what you said?
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna be honest, I've never been called a racist in my entire life.
Yeah.
So it's just like a little bit of a shock to me.
What do you say to people that are calling you racist?
I'm sorry, what?
What do you say to the people that are calling you racist?
I mean, honestly, I've been kind of just like staying silent right now just because of like the disaster that's happening.
Yeah.
So I just feel it's a little insensitive for people to be attacking. I obviously understand if they're offended, and I deeply apologize for that. I know her name, obviously. It was just a stupid, dumb, blonde moment, I think, in the moment during our podcast, and I actually do have like an issue with like pronouncing vowels sometimes.
Oh, really?
And I'm not gonna like play the victim or use this as an excuse because I am foreign. I wasn't even born here. I didn't speak English when I came here. Clearly, now you can hear that I do speak proper English, but I do have a tendency to mix up vowels, especially if I'm nervous.
The internet's really
and in that moment during the podcast, I was very nervous just from, you know, personal things I was going through, and me butchering her name, you know, was an innocent mistake. So no one had thought that it was going to be an issue. So like, I obviously do apologize for anyone that I've offended, or I understand how that could be disrespectful, but that wasn't like my intention at all.
Yeah, it's just like
it was just an honest mistake. Yeah. And I'm gonna try to say it, Megan Thee Stallion. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion, I got you, girl. I'm so sorry.
You are a fan of her though.
Yes, yeah, like I'm a fan. I clearly have used her songs. A lot of people are thinking that I'm bitter, that I'm angry, but I'm not. Like I said, we haven't been a thing for years, so I'm not like bitter about it at all.
Yeah, the mispronunciation was just like an accident.
Yeah.
Why do you think that Tori's dating Meg? Because you said that obviously you didn't think that that she was his type.
And in that moment, I mean, I didn't say that, by the way. That, you know, that was something that was said by my host. I just chimed in that he happens to, you know, see or date other girls that look similar to me, and that has nothing to do with race. Like, I'm shocked that that's even being said, but yeah, no, I don't think she's not his type. I think I was just more so shocked that he was dating someone in the public eye that's as big as her, you know, because she is like a megastar. So I was just more so shocked from my past personal experience of like knowing him and just knowing who he is as a person.
Yeah.
And maybe he's changed, obviously, like I'm sure he has, you know.
You feel like it was a little bit of a clout chase of him going after Megan?
I'm not going to say anything about that. I don't know, obviously, so I don't want to like stir the pot for that. Obviously, I'm happy for him, and I think it's incredible that he's dating someone as beautiful and as big as her. But yeah, this podcast clip had nothing to do with race. Like, that was not my intent, so obviously I apologize to anyone that I've offended. I mean,
He's dating the Megan, was it the Megan Thee Stallion? What's her name?
Meg the Stallion.
Meg the Stallion. Meg. Megan. I'm just gonna call her Megan.
Who's
Megan?
Who's Meg?
I don't know.
I wonder what his type is, because you guys dated that he was talking to other girls when he was talking to you, and like they all look
very
like
similar, like
you guys. So I'm just curious what his type is.
He's dating
Whew, baby, listen, hey guys, welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. It's getting better, isn't it? Anyway, listen, hey guys, welcome to Little Black Book. Now, like, share, subscribe. Let me just say this first and foremost. I want to play the clip so you actually get a full context of what actually happened. I want to say this first and foremost from my perspective. Do I think she was necessarily being racist? Not necessarily, but I'm not going to deny that that presence of racism is there. What I do believe is she definitely leaned into her race, playing the dumb blonde white girl who didn't know what she did, and there's so much innocence in what she was trying to do, when in reality she was being unaccountable. In her second explanation, by the way, in this explanation, this video, she's been unaccountable, she was being bitchy, she was being shady, and she was being downright rude. Now, she could have taken accountability in this video and said, you know what, I was being shady, I was a little bit better, you know, the girl is obviously, he's upgraded, and that made me feel some way. Instead of just being truthful about it, no, she played and leaned into what I call the manipulation. I think women can do this in general across the board, right? But because there are power dynamics in terms of hierarchy between, let's say, black women, white women, you're going to see it played in different ways. And because she's a white woman, the way that she's going to implement this is going to be far more lethal and has far more effect because of the power dynamics and the hierarchy when it comes to race. Now, with her, she comes out and tells us, oh, you know, that she didn't, you know, she has problem with vowels. Fair enough. She has an issue when for her she wasn't trying to be bitchy or rude. It's just that she can't pronounce the name. Now, sis, I'm gonna need you to pack your bags and stop that nonsense and fly right out of here, because you know exactly what you were doing. Now, do I believe that necessarily you were being racist? No. Even when they asked you about the type, do I think you're being racist? No. I think they actually have a point, and that's why it's going to be a little bit funky, this video. I'm going to tell you they actually had a point. There's a point. And we're going to talk about it in this video as well. But if you want to hear that twist, then stick around and listen to the rest of the video. But before we do, make sure you like it, you share, you subscribe, you click on that bell button for the notifications of the uploads. We appreciate you guys. We're going to get into this video and chop it up some more. You know what time it is. Okay, cool. So let's go back to some of her explanations, because they were horrible.
I didn't say this.
Okay.
And
the internet's really coming for you right now with what you said about.
In that moment during the podcast, I was very nervous just from, personal things I was going through, and me butchering her name, was an innocent mistake. So no one had thought that it was going to be an issue. So I obviously do apologize for anyone that I've offended or.
Okay, so her butchering Meg Thee Stallion's name, let's be very honest, it could easily be a very bitchy comment that she made. Right, and that's why I wanted her to admit it, because you see, by not admitting it, now it does give a bit more of a racial undertone, because you should just admit it and say, I was being bitchy. I don't want to lie to you. I was just, you know what? I saw that he was Meg Thee Stallion. I was a little bit haterish. I shouldn't really care, to be honest, because I don't really care for him. But we have those moments, right? These are sometimes we have private thoughts that sometimes leak out and they're said in public. And when they're said in public, they shouldn't be said in public, right? There are things that all of us have said about someone else in private that we will never want to say to their face. But you said it in public, so you should have owned it and just been like, my bad. You know what? Can't lie to you. Yes, I messed up her name. I didn't want to get her name correct. I was being a bit of a hater. He's moved on to someone who's bigger, better, seemingly bigger and better, because obviously she has status, she has wealth, she has fame. And so, yeah, it pissed me off. That's just a reality of the situation. That's what it should have been. And that would have been accountability. That would have shown us you've grown. That would have shown us that you're willing to be a mature adult. The fact that you're making it about vowels, and the fact that you have issues when it comes to pronouncing a name, and because English is not your first language, and because and her English is not her first language. The way she's talking is with proper English now. The fact that addressing the racial part, which I get. Again, without actually telling the truth of why you did what you did, yeah, sis, we ain't gonna buy it, and they're gonna keep calling you racist in that space. And though I can see how it can have a racial undertone, I more think this is women being women and being catty about who's better than who.
I understand how that could be disrespectful, but that wasn't my intention at all.
Yeah, it's just
it was just.
And sis, it was your intention to be disrespectful. That's why you said her name like that. Otherwise, you'd have told the girls, actually, no, girls, I'm being deadly serious. I actually don't know how to pronounce it. How do you actually pronounce it? Just so I don't get it wrong. I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't want to be rude. You would have said those words, but you didn't. You were trying to be disrespectful. See, when people when someone says what's his name? Like Little Hobbit or something, and people laugh. And so if you say to people, no, don't laugh. I genuinely thought that was his name. Then it shows that you're being serious, but you didn't do that. You allowed the joke to go on and the laughter to go on, because it actually denigrated other women. And if you know anything about female, sorry, I shouldn't say female, but that's how they pronounced it. But women competition, how they actually behave. This is typical. No, women will use what I like to call indirect tactics to be able to bring down an opponent, because they don't do the direct fighting necessarily all the time. They tend to use indirect methods. I've spoken about this on my other channel on Dark Arts, about how women can have competition with each other, right, when they're fighting for male resources, and what actually happens in that place is called intrasex competition between women. Okay, and what they end up doing in that space is they end up either self-promoting, which is bigging themselves up, or they may choose another method, which is derogation. Okay, and a derogation is a way of in a way of reducing the value of the other woman, the rival. I'll do a whole video on this again so you can actually see it. And so what it does is it kind of you can say something or say certain words to try and break down that woman or make people see her in a lower value by tainting her name. By the way, Megan is not a black, and when I say black cultural name where it's like difficult to pronounce. It is a name that's also in white cultures, so she should be able to pronounce this name very, very easily. It's an excuse. She was derogating her opponent by reducing the value, by reducing her name straight away. What's that, Meg Thee Stallion or something, like showing a disdain and a dislike. And then the other women also joined in to show that they're part of the community, and they also were going to derogate her name. Let's play a little bit more.
Just an honest mistake, yeah. And I'm gonna try to say it, Megan Thee Stallion. Okay, there you go. Megan Thee Stallion, I got you, girl. I'm so sorry.
You are a fan of her, though.
Yes, yeah, like I'm a fan. I clearly have used her songs. A lot of people are thinking that I'm bitter, that I'm angry, but I'm not. Like I said, we haven't been a thing for years, so I'm not like bitter about it at all.
Yeah, the mispronunciation.
Yeah, if you're saying that, but the way that you're talking, baby, it doesn't sound like you're not bitter or annoyed, angry at all. When you dropped the name situation where you derogated her, it doesn't. It definitely shows bitter.
It was just like an accident.
Yeah.
Why do you think that Tori's dating Meg? Because you said that obviously you didn't think that that she was his type.
And in that moment.
Now, this is the part where I'm going to say that I actually agree with the ladies that were on the panel talking about this situation. Now, I know a lot of people missed this part because they wanted to focus on the racism and she's a white woman, she wants to get a black woman. I hear it. Listen, but the part that we have to actually pay attention to, and I think if there wasn't a race situation, people would have paid attention, is this part. If he has consistently dated, gone after, had sex, whatever you want to call it, consistently gone after these type of women who look like her, of course she's going to question his type now. I'm so sorry, black women. Let's not try to ignore this fact. A man who has consistently dated snow bunnies, as Dr. Umar would say, suddenly flipping the script to go over a black woman, you'd ask him what's going on. Why has he suddenly switched his target? He's always been a person in his history is dating women like her. Now, I think this part where she's been disingenuous, where she goes, oh, women that look like her. What does that mean? Well, if you knew it wasn't about race, you'd have said, oh, women that have this level of class, this level of elegance, this level of this, you'd have made a clear distinction so that people know that it wasn't about race. But you didn't. Neither did your woman do that. Then we knew exactly what they were saying. It was a white woman. And that's not even racist. That's just a type.
I mean, I didn't say that, by the way. That was something that was said by my host. I just chimed in that he happens to, see or date other girls that look similar to me. And that has nothing to do with race. Like, I'm shocked that that's even being said, but I don't think she's not his type. I think I was just more so shocked that he was dating someone in the public eye that's as big as her, because she is like a megastar. So I was just more so shocked from my past personal experience.
And that's the truth. Sis, you were bitter about the fact that he managed to find somebody that was bigger, larger, more well-known, and it pissed you off, and that's okay. Sis, that's okay. He upgraded, and it's scary because the upgrade was huge. The upgrade is not a small upgrade. It's a massive upgrade. So I totally get it, sis. But you got to own it. Okay? All right? You got to own it. And you're right. His type, and you now making this, see how you're making another story to try and contravene this issue because you're not being honest? The type situation. No, because, I don't think he would want to date somebody in the public eye. Sis, you would have said that if that was the case. Oh, I can't believe he's dating somebody in the public eye because that's not who I thought. You would have said that. Right? So when we talk about type, what you really mean is that in that space is that, look, a woman that usually look like you, and that's okay. That is okay. He dates women that usually look like you. His history of women is women that look like you, and that's okay. But you should be honest. And this lack of accountability is scary because this is a type of energy that gets people lynched. Back in the day, sorry to say that to anybody if anyone's triggered, but it's a kind of energy that gets people lynched because it's that lack of accountability, the deflection, and the retelling and the the reestablishing of a history that then doesn't exist, and trying to revise history almost in a sense. It's scary business, and the lack of honesty here. So it's like, I can't trust you from a can of paint. I'm not supposed to. You're not my girl, and I'm not your friend. So, who am I? But I'm saying that anybody watching that should be aware that, listen, that level of deflection, that level of cunningness to rewrite the story, that lack of accountability always is going to play up in her relationships when she dates a man, and they're gonna have to call that out a little bit. That's some crazy work. Just be honest. You were jealous. It's okay. We've all been there. Much love, much appreciation. We'll see you guys very soon, and we'll talk again.